Those guys just left with a pound puncher. You guys.
Don't go there.
Yes?
I was thinking about following Halloween. I was trying to get something.
They're just troublemakers.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to give you an update. Some of the things on this the first page sort of goes to the dates that I think are good and significant. We finally got the first drip system put in. It's an in-ground system. And the thing about the drip system is that it only goes down between 6 and 8 inches. And it's this really thin, it's probably about as big as my finger, flexible tube that goes in the ground.
And beat your at.
Originally.
Started out there.
Originally, right.
I remember seeing that.
Yes. So we've got a drip system in, and the it's in a wooded area. And so the idea is that it's in among all the leaf mulch and that kind of stuff, and so it ought to disperse really well. One of the things we're happy about is that it's in-ground. The more things we can do in-ground rather than putting in the creek, the better. So we've got that in. It's pretty well done. Ryan was up there helping with the inspection today. We've got 2 more of those to put in yet in this phase of the project. The other thing that we've got coming up next week is that people from Infiltrator are the people who are making the tanks. They were here at the end of September to do a training, and we took them out to one of the sites where we were having one of these problems. They were not pleased at all to see that their tanks were involved in this problem. So they're going to come back the 10th and the 11th, and they're going to retrofit one of the systems that isn't working right. And they'll absorb the total cost for that. So I'm sure they're hoping that when they do it, it's going to be right. They're not going to retrofit it using the same technologies that we've got in the bid. So it wouldn't be like we'd then be able to say, okay, everybody's got to now do it this way. We're going to have to work out the way we've been doing it, but at least we'll have another example of how we might do it in the future with them doing that. So that's happening. And the other thing that I think is pretty important is the 16th or the 17th, we're going to meet with Wiseman. Wiseman are our contractors. If you look at the next page has got a progress chart. And one of the things we did differently this time, at the strong urging of the DEP, was we, instead of having 1 contract, we have 5 contracts for the project. And the thought was we'd get many more people involved in the bidding. Of course, you remember we only had 2 firms that bid. Contract number 1 is Wiseman, and that's 12 in-ground systems. Contract number 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all Tim Davis. So as you look down here, you'll see that with the Wiseman contract, they don't have anything that's going through the final inspection yet. They've got 5 that they've started, 7 that they've started. 4 of them have had the first inspection, but all of them have these cracked adapters. The way we look at it, Wiseman has sort of, I don't know if I should say walked away, but they're not there anymore. They're not present. And of course, they're hoping that somehow this thing will get resolved and then they can come back in. The last formal correspondence we had with them, they suggested that we need to figure out what we would pay them extra to have them come back and redo the systems. Our feeling is, and we've shared this with the prosecutor, he was afraid I was going to bring him into this, as well as the commission president, that our contract's with them. You know, we're not in a position to go out and try to negotiate with the people who made the tanks, with the people who made the adapter rings, with the people who made the risers. We only have a formal contract with them, so it's their responsibility to resolve this stuff. So we're going to meet with them, you know, in 2 weeks to sit down and try to get a roadmap to move this thing forward. Hopefully we'll be able to reach an agreement without having to do any kind of legal stuff. We found in the past that legal things tend to draw out forever. And we just don't, we'd rather find a way not to have that happen.
What do you think they would do?
You would think they would. You would think they would. So we'll see. There will be a commission meeting after we have that meeting with them, so I'm sure we're going to have some kind of update to talk to you all about.
Because when you look at these things, they all have an adapter ring problem, so that means
Yes.
wherever else they're putting these things has adapter ring problems,
Well,
or not.
Tim Davis on contract contract 4 and contract 5. Contract 4 is to, well, he didn't have to do an adapter ring there. Contract 5 for sure. At contract 5, he's putting in these in-ground systems. Okay? The systems at KD Braggs, which is this drip system that we've been working at, okay, he put those tanks and those adapter rings in before we got the last official notice on how you're supposed to do it correctly that came out in August. Those all leaked. All those adapter rings leaked. He went back and he retrofitted them according to the August instructions. Ryan checked them today and none of them leaked.
So really, Wiseman or whomever up here needs to do that too, then, right?
Yes.
And that's what.
I think if they did that, if they did it according to the correct instructions, they'd be okay. But of course, they're saying, and maybe rightly, the instructions we had told us to do it this way, we did it that way, didn't work. Bill Clark redid those first 4 where it says first inspection. Bill Clark went back and redid those didn't work. They're saying, you gotta pay us if you're gonna do anything more, and we're saying, we don't think you should pay you. It's your responsibility to work this out with all these other players.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and wherever else outside this county they're putting these things, are they doing it right, or are they still doing it,
I don't think anybody's checking.
Right, that's kind of what I'm
I
getting
hate to say that, you know, I mean, my guess is things get buried and nobody's opening the lids
You
and
think
peeking
as a
inside.
company like that, though, you wouldn't want that to go like public and stuff, you know, saying, well, you have faulty equipment.
So we will see. And Ryan's gonna update you on some other stuff that he's been working on.
Trying to prepare a little bit for Phase 5. I kind of talked about that a little bit during the last meeting. Just getting ready. We're getting ready to do a community meeting. We're trying to get as many people recruited for Phase 5 as possible. You know, keep mailing out letters and, you know, hoping that people will sign up or, you know, show some interest. And, you know, I haven't received anything new yet, so just gonna keep trying. And I'm getting ready to go to a training next week, so that'll be good. It'll be something that just helps me increase my knowledge base on how to maintain septic systems and things like that. So that'll be actually a 4-day-long training, so that should be a good experience. Also,
Everything.
yeah,
You come back and we have to do all of it.
that's right. Also been doing some sampling. If you look at your third page there, we got some Phase 3 direct discharge samples. This is just last phase. We're currently in Phase 4. This is the phase before that. You know, it had been a few months since I'd done one, about 2 months, and I thought, you know, we need to get some samples out there. And fortunately, every single one of them turned back great. There's nothing over even 10, so that's awesome. It's really good. I was impressed with that. I was kind of worried because you know, it's been a while since I checked, and I thought, ugh, that might be bad, but it turned out all right. Then I also did on the next page some tributary sampling. Now remember, tributary sampling is taking samples from the creeks themselves, not actual discharge from the septic systems. If you'll notice, I did 2 sets, one on June the 6th and one on September the 11th. Now June the 6th was right in the middle of those summer heat months, and I also had problems getting all of them based on creek levels, and even some this last time that I did round. If you'll notice, there's a couple of them that are kind of high, which concerned me a little bit, but I also understood because the water is low, what will happen is if I'm down there dipping this cup into this stream and accidentally stir up sediments, or if there's even been a lot of just, you know, mud and dirt and things like that in it, that will also cause a high reading. So right there at Flat Creek below Sycamore was 1150, and it was a high reading. If you'll notice, the next time there was no water in it. So that to me just kind of says it's probably based on there's not enough water flowing through the creeks. You've just got kind of mud and dirt and E. coli on the bottoms of the stream. But then there's dog bone there, but if you'll notice I took one after that and it was 144, so that's way better. So that's what I was attributing to the reason I had high readings that month. Looks like there was a few high readings. Once again, we're still dealing with this issue of low creeks. I mean, even though we've had rain recently, it's still just not been enough to keep the creeks flowing strongly. So, you know, a few of them were high, but really not too bad. I mean, only 50 and 20 over. The rest of them were all acceptable. So that's good.
Well, when it's dry like that, you have your organisms, you have more organisms per amount of water there, is what you're looking at. As it dries up, they're just kind of all getting through the middle, so,
Right.
and that's what throws those up like that. But I think if you look at historically what was there in the tens of thousands,
Right.
you know, it's so much better.
I think especially on dog bone.
Yeah, really. I mean, just
Where
even the 2 month
originally,
difference there.
every time we sampled dog bone, it was way over the limits. And now, of course, we've got lots of homes on dog bone in our systems. There's a direct correlation.
Oh, yeah.
That's all. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
I want to switch hats. if I
Oh.
can.
I said, I know our goal, I don't know how long it's been, a long time ago, was to work on the tributaries coming into the last fork.
Right. And all those are.
And is it, but if we don't get people to sign up, is it possible to look at other places? I mean,
If the commission directs us.
well, I think it's such a good project, that there's gotta be, you know, needs there, but just maybe get people who want to participate. I don't know what's causing them not want to. If there's money there and we can see a way of helping, you know, clean up the stream by doing this, then we should consider looking at it.
We had had some discussions about how we'd move forward with maybe, you know, moving out of the watershed either towards Spurlockville or even towards, you know, the Alcohol Post Office. You know, so I'm actually thinking about trying to schedule a meeting with you too, just to talk about all these things, you know, because really we've only gotten 2 people to sign up for Phase 5 that have showed up to multiple community meetings, and that's it. So, yeah, not too.
Although we're just at the beginning.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Takes a while to get the word out there. We move it up that river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the appropriate place to go.
Yeah, same water.
Yeah. I want to switch hats and talk a little bit about the Team Parenting initiative that we've done, that I've talked about in the past.